Today, I have some absolutely massive news for all of you regarding the development of Manor Lords. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and if you haven't heard, Manor Lords is an upcoming medieval strategy game that combines deep, organic, and realistic city building with large-scale tactical battles. Now, I'm not the only one who's been excited about this, and since 2020, when the game first was announced, it's just been amazing to see its development from a solo dev, one person working on this, and the big news is today, you can apply to be a tester and get access to this game, and I'll tell you how in just a little bit. But I wanted to go over all the things that have been announced for this game in a huge info dump on the developer's Steam store page. Firstly, the developer now has a publisher, which means that they've received some funding, and even Epic Games, hold on to your breath, has given them money too. Now, the good news is, I know what you're thinking, the game has received a no-strings-attached grant to the dev that will allow them to continue development and continue to fund all the different mechanics and things that are being improved upon for this game, and yet it'll still be available on Steam, on GOG, and on the Epic Game Store. Use code Raptoria at checkout when you get Manor Lords today. But anyway, the game looks incredible compared to what it was last announced in early 2022. We went over all the news that we had from 2021 and before, and this game looked phenomenal before. Really, really great with all the different building systems and how things are constructed, not by scaffolding or by coming out of the ground as if they're being summoned from the dead, but all the parts and pieces being laid out and constructed by the people in your town. And now it just looks incredible based on where it was and where it's going. We'll go over that right now. Here's the developer's Steam store page for Manor Lords, and as you can see, it's now TBA. It was once rumored or possibly confirmed that this game would come out in 2022, but thanks to Hooded Horse and the funding from Epic Games, the publisher has now basically given them opportunity to go back into the drawing board and rework a lot of the systems and the graphics and such for the game that really I'm just blown away. A lot of the buildings and such we've seen in the game before have looked gray and, dreary and such, which kind of fits the time. A lot of the soil looking more dry, as well as the roads. But honestly, all of these screenshots and images for the game before looked really damn good. And now we're going to compare with the massive posts that the developers made about their tester applications. If we take a look at this here, you can see where the game was in 2020 versus, look at that. That's absolutely, I hate to say it, but breathtaking. It really is. I mean, it looks like a game at the top that is just like almost complete. And then when you look at the bottom, you're like, wow, how did we go from 2020 to 2022 for Manor Lords? Look at all those dynamic road systems. Look at all the buildings. The game has a system that's similar to the Anno-type games, or maybe the Sierra City Builders, where farmers and merchants and others have different types of styles of homes and backyards. The farmers, of course, have gardens in their backyards that help to feed them, and the farms will help to feed your people as a whole in the town, such as blacksmiths and other people with actual trade skills, and then, of course, being able to trade a lot of your goods to others via merchants. This game will also have a non-combat version. There will be an economic-only version to the game, so if you want to focus on just building a beautiful city and operating that, you can do that without going into the amazing-looking warfare, which we'll go over soon as well, which a lot of people are saying could possibly be a total war killer. I guess we'll see. All right, let's go down to take a look at the improvements to some of the residential plot systems. It was kind of a little unknown before as to how buildings would be laid out. Again, this image from 2020 kind of just shows a myriad of different buildings, from lumber mills to what could be like a tannery or maybe a tailor. But now we're starting to see more of a town come together here. And look at how lush things are looking. And of course, look at how the UI looks as well. There's minimal. Wait, is that my name? No, it couldn't be. It says Warrior. I thought it said it said Raptor. Hey, you can't blame me. It's looking good, and I'm excited to see my own name, Glory to Raptoria, in this beautiful city builder. You can see where the developers got inspiration from medieval layouts and different types of cities and towns that existed. And you can see here the different tiers for these buildings, tier 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on, for different types of styles and layouts of not only the back of the house, but also the building materials and the style of the home, from straw and daubing all the way up to possibly brickwork, and of course chimneys and buildings made of stone. And yeah, this is just looking incredible. I mean, look at this detail. This is just, even buildings having natural looking wear and tear when they look rather new at the same time is a just phenomenal experience. I mean, to see that just looks amazing. The detailing here just looks great. The developer in this post also going over what the late game and artisan conversions will be like. Of course, building yourself into a more kind of I'd like to say modern looking town, but really a lot of these buildings that you see here on the screen still exist today and are maintained and shown off in towns for tourism and such. And so the church in the background made of stone and all the other buildings we see here around a market just look phenomenal. Great detail, and of course lots of clouds and smoke and things in the game. Region sizes here are discussed, improving things and improving the functionality of these regions and how they'll interact with the world map. And, you know, of course, you'll not only be able to zoom into the details of your individual people, but of course zoom out to see the roads and the rivers and the valleys of the lands around you. If we take a look here at the freedom of the camera movement and zoom levels, I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. All the way down to essentially the height of a human, from all the way up in the sky, where you can see the seasons changing, the beautiful cloud coverage, the difference in the how the grasses look too based on what time of year it is. Incredible. Now, the dev says you can't treat it like 3 games or it's unoptimized, and the seeming meaning the stitching between how this game is going to work is amazing. I feel like this is equal part city builder as it is equal part combat game, and it's just looking better than ever, and so promising. It was so promising before, but now I think a lot of these things that we're seeing when it's delivered is just going to blow everyone out of the water. I mean, it's just going to be insane. I mean, look at the style of all these buildings and homes, the roads, the detailing to seeing flowers in the grass, made by a single person. This is a project, as it says at the very top. I mean, look at this. If you want to make a game making is easy, but if you want to make a good game, well, if you want to do it right, then it's going to take some time. And honestly, this is a great announcement. A delay to the game with additional funding and polish. None of that, none of us expected the NFT garbage or any monetization or anything like that, and that's not the type of game where that would fit. And this is a game that's made by a dev who is a gamer making a game for gamers, and that's incredible. This image here shows that the facial features, facial hair, different types of features for people will be kind of random. So every time you look at a person in your game, not only will the clothing that they wear be different based on their class, but the clothing will also be randomized, and their appearance will be randomized too, which means that when you see troops, you know, a massive line of archers or something like that, they'll all look seemingly the same because of their uniforms, yet seemingly different because of all the different types of facial features or, you know, facial hair or whatnot that they might have. And yeah, look at that. So you got some people who, in this militia here, who are clean-shaven and look a little younger, people who could be balding and wearing different types of colors of hats and uniforms and outfits and stuff. Incredible. Going over the recruitment system and a lot of extra details here that I want you to check out as well on your own time. So please do check their Steam store page to add it to your wish list. The more and more people who add this game to their wish list, by the way, and my motivations here are selfish. I want to see this game be out of this world. And the more people that add this to their Steam wish list, it will actually show up on the front store page or the main page of Steam when it's released. And to see a solo dev like this knock it out of the park, to see single player games where creativity is on us and all the stories that we can make and all the different types of experience that we can have made by a solo dev, that must be encouraged. Otherwise, we're just going to end up with more Ubisoft titles where it's a rug pull a few years down the line, and nobody wants that. There's also some changes to the combat systems, and even this video from a while ago kind of just shows the basics of what will be done in the game, and the basics are amazing. Formations and cavalry and archers and different types of battle tactics, and of course the ability to have mercenaries and also militia and regular troops and knights and things like that of all different types of skill will be important. And again, the game will have a battle-free mode too, so if you just want to learn the economic systems without bankrupting yourself with the military, well then there you go. Things like, for example, gameplay, micromanagement, and farming are being improved upon and talked about here, where of course you know, horses and things like that, having cattle and whatnot will be a part of it, a livestock system too, where sheep will be taken care of. It's incredible. Wagons and such in the background. Hopefully we get a chance to make all these things. A lot of this is just speculation and personal dreams and things that I want to see in the game, but it just looks amazing. So anyway, the important things here to take away are that the game is being delayed for massive improvements and massive funding, with extra systems going in like water and soil, to where you'll be placing, I mean, everything like where you place a well and where you place a home and where you place a cattle farm will be important. Drainage, for example, for water tables, for where you place all of your farms and your buildings, and possibly for defense too, although I don't think you'll be able to attack towns or whatnot. It would still be cool to make a town up on a hill to make it look as if it were defended. Market square evolution from being, small buildings on the side to being more diverse, actual marketplaces, and of course being put in front of, public areas like the church and in the middle of a town. Just looks incredible. There's so much information here. There's so much detail just in the base game. We see the GIF here of buildings being constructed, sound being reworked, dirts and pathways being improved upon. I mean, it's like the developer has started all the way over because they're not satisfied, because they want to provide the greatest quality of life at the start and not just do a roadmap where later on things like coat of arms and different types of systems and whatnot are implemented later on as features. No, this is day one stuff. And I mean, to be able to make your own coat of arms and to make a kingdom or I guess in this case, a region, a area where you can be a lord of, is all yours, and that's incredible. So lots of improvements, information here, 1, 2, 3, 4 to walk away with, that they've hooded Horse Publishing is now their publisher. They're cooperating with NVIDIA to make things very, very smooth and good from day one. GOG and of course, Epic making improvements for the Unreal Engine and things like that, or at least giving them support that way, is a beautiful thing to see. All right, here's the important part now. Pay attention, because this is probably where everybody is going to want to jump in. So all you need to do in order to gain access to the the testing phase, whenever it may take place, it could be random, it could all be at once, who knows? The developer is too busy making a phenomenal game to really, be able to put all their attention on a big release. So I'm sure that things are being sprinkled out over time. So step 1, join their Discord. The link for that should be down below in the description. Find a bot called the Alpha Bot. Send that Alpha Bot a message, ! Alpha. The bot will ask you a few questions that's related to, like, for example, your system performance and your preference for games, and then just wait for the email confirmation and make sure you reply to that. So you got to have a valid email and you got to join their Discord. You just can't be a robot. Sorry bots. No kingdom for you. And a few other details on being a Patreon supporter. Just amazing. This is great to see this game. There's a little bit more information, but basically the main information here about its release date is TBD, or at least to be announced. So, hey, if this game continues to be delayed, I'm happy with that. The developer showing a lot of great reasons here as to why things have been, improved upon and polished and delayed and moved around, and that's totally fine. For a single dev trying to provide the most polished experience, I am hyped, just as I was at the start of the year, just as I was before. And in fact, I don't think I've ever been more excited for this, just to show that, hey, here's a game that I'm making and here's how amazing it looks, to, hey, I want to deliver on this sometime soon. Let's all now work together to make sure that it's the best experience for a medieval city builder / medieval warfare game anybody has ever seen. Combining elements of Ostriv and Foundation and what feels to be like Dawn of Man, and of course Total War and things like that. Just incredible. Anno 1800, a few other, other Anno games in here as well. What a delight. All right, well, go ahead and do me a favor. Add Manor Lords to your Steam wish list today. Spread the word of Manor Lords. Hopefully it's the best game we've ever played. And I've just got nothing but high hopes and high expectations. But, obviously it's all on us to help to make the best game ever. Thanks again, everybody, for watching here today. Show the developer some love on their YouTube channel and on Twitter. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks for dropping in.
Welcome to Manor Lords.
Let's get to work!
In this video, I'd like to introduce you to some of the core mechanics of the game, including regional development, trade, and military recruitment.
We need more workers here.
The map in Manor Lords is divided into regions. Each region has its own resources, as well as a development tree. When you upgrade the residential buildings in the region, you get development points, which you can spend to unlock new development branches. This means that different regions may specialize in different things. Some may be more optimized for farming, some for mining, and some will process the resources to make expensive goods, like shoes or clothing. Depending on the optimization of your production chains, the price of the goods will change, affecting the market attractiveness. Free merchants will travel more frequently to towns that have rare and more affordable goods. These merchants are the only way to get wealth in the game. Lord's treasury, however, is split from the regional wealth. As the lord or lady, you must tax your towns and villages in order to get money for your personal endeavors. There are different taxes giving various benefits. For example, the tithe goes straight to the church, but in return, the church gives you influence. Every so often, the king gives out valuable rewards to the most influential lords on the map, including new territories. You can compliment or insult other lords via the diplomacy system to affect their influence. The recruitment system in Manor Lords has been redesigned after some community feedback. It is now divided into 3 unit categories. First type of recruits are the peasant militia. You can call to arms the peasants from your villages. They grab whatever improvised weapons they have and join the fight.
War is coming!
This will hit your economy, and you'll need at least a couple of villages to form an army. If you want better militia, you must train them at the training camp or the archery range. The second type of recruits are mercenaries. They cost silver and a lot of it. The last type is Lord's Retinue. This is a limited, heavily armored unit that you can customize to your liking. Thank you for joining in for this short preview of Manor Lords gameplay systems. If you're interested in discussing the game, be sure to visit Manor Lords Discord and subreddit. See you all in the next video.